putting in a bold run with Lord Wintack, and we've got the photo signal up 110.7.
I reckon Miss Dugar got it then.
And there's 3 of them. Miss Dugar, I think, has won it, but they are that far apart. Number 5 is the winner, Miss Dugar. 5 is first. Second in, I would think, was a Waver Tree, and we've got Lord Wintack. They're the two most prominent.
That's very close also.
And not far away, Civil List. He just wasn't going comfortable enough for mine, Civil List. 1 is second, and that is Waver Tree, and 4 third, Lord Wintack. So it's 5, 1 and 4.
Well, gee, she's been, you know, in great form this time in Miss Dugar. She hasn't put in one bad run, and it was a great finish.
Good Flemington mare too. She she seemed to have the outside horses covered here. It was just a matter of lining up with the flat side horses.
Yeah, there's Miss Dugar in the green on the outside here. 3 from the outside rail. Then on the inside you've got Lord Wintack and Waver Tree. And those two, I thought at this stage they may have just been in front, but Miss Dugar, she wouldn't give up under nice riding from Brent Stanley. And she's put her head out, trying hard. He's just riding her hands and heels and getting everything out of her. And you can see here, she's just going to draw level, and she just gets the bobbin right on the line, just there.
And she wears the same colours that Arctic Scent carried to win the Caulfield Cup last year. 5-1-4, 4th in Civil List, and 5th in was Straight Clip, Pete, and success to Jim Mason.
Yes, and with those horses being wide apart, it can be deceptive for everyone, and maybe for you too, Jim.
Yeah, well, just watching on the monitor, very deceiving. I thought she might have just won, but it was, or she's run third, so I didn't think she won by half a length.
She was drawn in the middle. Was there ever any thought of coming down to the flat side?
Not really. I mean, if you draw out there, you're able to stay, and you sort of lose a bit of ground sort of crossing over there. So, you know, like, and she excels so well down the straight, so we thought we'd just ride it from around that barrier.
She's been pretty consistent. Yeah,
this time in, she's been a mile of consistency. But, you know, we always sort of set her for this time of the year because down the straight, she does show a lot of form.
Well done.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Jim Mason, the winning trainer. Here's Brent Stanley, the winning rider, with John Les.
Yes, Brent, Miss Dugar, a good win today. Good, solid win, wasn't it?
Yeah, she loves the straight. She goes good for me. She's very, very tough mare. And all she knows is a little bit of luck where she can get out in her own space. She just doesn't like racing inside horses.
Brent, and those colours would be a favourite of yours, wouldn't they?
Oh, definitely a favourite. It's just good thanks to David Moody and Jim Mason for letting me ride the horses.
Yeah. Well, that's the colours you won the colours you won the Caulfield Cup in, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely the colours on the Caulfield Cup in. Hopefully we can do something like that again.
Yeah. Good luck, mate.
Thanks.
Good ride.
5, 1 and 4, the numbers there. 5, 1 and 4. The winner, Miss Dugar, Brent Stanley. Waver Tree, Brett Preble, second, and third, Lord Wintack, Damien Oliver. 5, 1 and 4. Time for the journey was 1:10.7. Really has turned into a beautiful afternoon here at Flemington. It was a memorable Melbourne Cup, and the connections of Miss Dugar will remember the day that they won a race on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day 1997. As Brent Stanley brings this mare back to scale, we'll take a break and be back with you with the correct weight signal and the dividends on race 9 on a perfect Tuesday afternoon in Melbourne, Foster's Melbourne Cup Day. The ritual after the running of race 9 being completed now for the Pivot Superfect Sprint. Half a length the winning margin, half a head between second and third, and the time 1:10.7. The correct weight signal there on race 9, the Pivot Superfect Sprint. And let's check the dividends now with Dan Malicki.
$6.10 for the win, $2.10 the place, Miss Dugar. Second, Waver Tree, $2.40. And third, Lord Wintack, $2.30. The Quinella, $23.40. The Exacta, $33.70, and the running double returning $41.30 on the combination of 3 and 5. And the trifecta still not yet with us. 5-1-4. Pete on race 9 at Flemington.
And just another mention too, Dan, that Count Shivas was last. Well, I held that before the Melbourne Cup. The bloke beside me has got hold of it, and he doesn't have to let it go because Nick Moratis, that is now yours. Congratulations to both you and Alan Denham.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Has it sunk in?
You know, I'm still on cloud 9. I think it'll take a while. It's just hard to explain how you feel. You just don't, but you feel like it's a fairy tale. You don't really feel that it's happened, but it's real, and I thank God for it.
Alan, in your heart of hearts, all the experts kept finding reasons why he couldn't win the Melbourne Cup. Did you go in supremely confident today?
Well, we were never supremely confident, but when he went past the first time, although he was leading, he was relaxed, you know. Problem I thought during the run was when Crying Game come up and you know, give him a bit of stick. But that's the way Crying Games races. Then Linesman had a go at him, but once again, you know, Linesman's a good tough horse, so they're not out there for might and power's sake. They're out for their own. But it was a great effort to lead all the way. I think the last horse to do it was Lord Fury.
Lord Fury, yes, it was. Just one last point. What did Dad have to say?
Oh, not much as usual, but he keeps it inside, and, you know, his horses do the talking for him.
I'm not going to hold you guys up as we watch them go to the line there, Doremus and Might and Power, in one of the epic Melbourne Cup finishes, because you've got a bit of celebrating to do. Congratulations, both Nick and Alan, once again.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
Peter.
very much, Peter.
Nick Moratis and Alan Denham. Let's go down to the presentation now after race 9 with Rob Gaylard.
Yes, it's presentation time for the Pivot Superfect Welter, and representing the VRC, Mr. Rick Charlton, AM. To begin our presentations, Mr. James Cox, the chairman of Pivot Limited.
Thank you, Rob Gaylard, and thank you, Mr. Charlton. Your Excellency, the Governor-General, the Governor of Victoria, Premier, Chairman and members of the VRC Committee, ladies and gentlemen. Pivot is indeed proud to be a sponsor of this sprint at this Melbourne Cup Carnival. And some may ask, why is a farmer-owned cooperative fertiliser supplier involved in this carnival? Let me say that the first and most important link is that as a supplier of fertilisers, we are contributing to the development of necessary pastures, hay and grain, and that is what produces magnificent bloodstock which you've seen perform today. And the second link would be this magnificent racecourse, which is in great condition today. You are seeing it at its best, and it has been top-dressed with our superfect product.
So there's the presentation after race 9. Well done to the connections of Miss Jugar. And now we've got one to go. Last race on the card at the Hong Kong Jockey Club Plate. Race close to your heart, Jen. Scratchings are 2 Waterford Road, 8 Shannock, 11 Angel's Image and 14 Mongatatari. And my apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's about the best I can do at this time of the day. 4 out, leaving a field of 11. Here are the totes as we take a look at them. What are your thoughts?
Well, Peter, I like number 14, Star Covered. He was beaten just over 4 lengths in the Epsom. Now, that form out of the Epsom has been outstanding.
As it was.
So, really, on that performance, he gets him nicely weighted here. He's got a very good chance. Peep on the Sly, Frankie Dettori on board. I think that's a very important move there. He'll get back, but he'll run on. And number 5, our Sumo, very talented galloper.
I can't believe the odds that Star Covered has come up. $11.10. I think he's the one too. He comes out of the best race of the spring form-wise so far, the Epsom, as you said, beaten about 4 lengths. He'll be getting mine, Tim. The last race is due at 4:45 here at Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day.
Thank you, Pete. We'll take a very short break and come back with all of that very soon. I can see those beautiful lights of Melbourne from my room at the Sofitel Hotel, and it's just a marvellous week to be here. What a marvellous Melbourne Cup we've seen. Well, our Channel 10 marquee we haven't checked in with for a while. It's probably humming along very nicely by now, I'd say. Here's Sandra Sullivan.
I have with me now 2 of the newest stars to the 10 series, Medivac, Melissa Katz and Dita Brummer. Congratulations to you both joining 10, and of course, Melissa, you've just won on the Melbourne Cup.
Yes, I have. I'm very excited. It's the first time I've ever won anything, so yeah, no, it's great.
Now, Dita, you've just appeared on 10 and made your foray into Medivac, but of course, there's plenty more episodes to come. How are you enjoying it so far?
It's been great, yeah. It's been fantastic moving out of my hometown of Sydney and up to Brisbane for a couple of months to work on Medivac, and yeah, it's been fantastic working with Mel, and numerous other guest characters which have come in. We've only got another couple of weeks left, so making most of the time and having an excellent time down here in Melbourne.
Well, it's great to see. Melissa, we haven't had a chance to see you on the screen just yet, but you're in production now. We will see you next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us a little bit about your character.
Oh, well, she plays a nurse, and she's great. She's a very funny sort of person, and she used to date Dita's character, Sean.
So do we see any romantic liaison here?
The end of a romantic liaison, isn't it? Yeah. But yes. But the show's been really good fun, and like Dita said, it's nice to sort of move away from home for a while, even though I miss Sydney. But it's been great. It's been really good.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing you in the new series, which opens on 10 next year. And of course, Dita, we're enjoying your work so far, and we look forward to the liaisons next year. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Sandra.
Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
Sandra.
Okay, best of luck. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Sandra. Bathed in sunshine they are now. Now, listen, don't forget our Star City competition, the new casino in Sydney called Star City, providing us with a beautiful weekend for two away, absolute luxury. It hasn't stopped. We'll be here on Oaks Day and on final day, and we'll bring you the details again then. Keep ringing, because it's a great prize, and then we'll announce the winner. Sports Tonight on Monday, November 10. Only for viewers in Australia, of course. We'll take a break. Back soon. Thoroughbred racehorses. You know, it's amazing transformation happens at this racecourse around this time of the afternoon. The cup's been run and won. There's a lot of relaxing going on, a lot of happy people, and they're sitting on the lawns. They're all over the place, bathed in sunshine. A few have had, well, just a few too many bubbles, and a few are sound asleep under the trees. But it's just a lovely place to be, this marvellous day in Australian sport. The Melbourne Cup of 1997. You know, Pete, we used to refer to it as the Get Out Stakes. I think we should rename it now in honour of Jimmy Cassidy's great line, the Go Hard, Go Home Stakes.
Yeah, not a bad line, Tim, but it is a terrific race too. It's a good quality race, the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club Plate. Incidentally, just before we have a look at the runners in the last, Tim, I can tell you a couple of things. We haven't brought you the trifecta on the Melbourne Cup yet. No. The reason is because it has not been declared yet. The TAB are apparently experiencing problems with the trifecta dividends, and that's why they've been late coming through from the races just leading up to the Melbourne Cup, and indeed the Melbourne Cup itself. The other piece of news I can impart to everyone, Jen, is the crowd, 94,133.
Magnificent crowd, and it really does look like there's 94,000 here too. It's absolutely packed. It's great.
Okay, what about this last race? Waterford rode out along with Shannock, Angel's Image and Magatatari. So we've got a field of 11 running in the last, and it is a quality race. Peep on the Sly is a quality galloper on his day. Will he produce it today?
Well, we might just see that leap from Frankie Dettori just before he heads off on that plane again, hopefully. He's down in class, Peter, and I don't think he was given all that much chance in the Turnbull. Got well back in the Caulfield Cup and ran on okay. I think this class will suit him and he's a definite chance.
I must say I was a little sceptical before the Caulfield race about Flak Jacket's ability to run a strong 1.25 miles or 2,000 metres, but he did that day, and I think back in distance at 1,800 he's going to be even better.
Yes, you go back to his Epsom run, that's the run we were talking about. All that form has been very, very good. He was wide all the way there. And then I thought he had the run of the race last start, but he did have 59.5 kilos. This is a bit harder for him, and he meets Star Covered a lot poorly on weights here, so maybe just a place chance for Flak Jacket.
Number 4, Magic of Sydney, trained by Gai Waterhouse, and Jimmy Cassidy has to get his mind back on the job again because he's back on board, and this horse was disappointing in the Caulfield Cup, but then again, he wasn't an orphan that day.
No, that's true, and it is a bit shorter for Magic of Sydney. He's a horse that likes to get up there on the pace. At Randwick, he did lead, but he was well held by Yippee-Yo on that occasion as well. I'd give him a place chance. 5 Hour Sumo, Jennifer, trained by Bernie Myers at Ballarat, to be ridden by Greg Childs. Now, he is a very promising racehorse. He came through the classes, he won the Kunji, and then they decided that they'd run him in the Caulfield Cup, and hindsight's a wonderful thing because it was flying too high that day. Yes, and probably next year for this fellow, if he still progresses the way he has been, He's a horse that does need a little bit of galloping room. He's got a fairly big action, but he's well drawn here, and I think he'll be running on strongly at the end.
Have a look at this little lady, number 6 in Miss Tesla, to be ridden by Damien Oliver for Lee Friedman. Now, when she came around the turn at Moonee Valley in front and her horse loomed up on her outside, she got the shock of her life because it was Holy Roller and it looked like an elephant had just run past her.
It sure did next to her. Damien Oliver to ride here. Now, her Flemington record is outstanding. She's always figured in the prize money in her 8 runs here, so it's got to be considered a good chance.
Above the Law is trained by David Hall. Brent Thompson takes the ride. And I didn't mind its run at big odds behind Mono's Cove. Was just pipped for 3rd on the line, Jen.
Yeah, I thought he held his ground quite well there above the Law. He's a horse that gets back and runs on, and he's there with some chance in this race.
What about Video Fan, trained by Hannah Gilligan at Crampton, and Darren Gouchy as the rider, has the inside gate at the 1800.
I'd give him an excuse at Seymour. He did race on the worst part of the track there, on the inside going, and it wasn't that good that day. He is capable of better, and certainly not the worst in this race.
And 14 is Star Covet. Shane Dye has had no luck so far today. Robert Johnson is the trainer, and as we keep on saying, it went around in the form race of the spring, and that is the Epsom handicap, and finished 4.3 lengths from the winner.
Yes, that was a terrific effort there. 51 kilos, Shane Dye on his back. He got well back at Randwick, but he ran on very well as well. So he's coming into form here, and he's going to be very hard to beat.
Jem, we need a summary of what you think for the last time today.
All right, I'm going with number 14, Star Covered. I think Peep on the Sly, number 1, has a terrific chance. And for 3rd, I'm putting in number 5, Our Sumo.
Star Covered into about $7.30 now in the final event on the card. Let's check out his tote figure exactly, and all of the tote figures with Dan Malicki prior to the final event.
$5.80 for Peep on the Sly, Pete. $7.60 Flak Jacket. Gee, it's an open race. $6.90 Magic of Sydney. $5.40 for Our Sumo. $6.30 Miss Tesla. $34 for Kaylee Moonlight. Scratch number 8, 9 above the Law at 17, 16 for Video Fan, $15 for number 12 Maximal, $30 for Barossa Babe, $7.30 for Star Covet. And thankfully for most of the race callers, number 15 is a scratching. Menga Tatautri is how I'd have attempted to call it. That's race number 10 on the tote. Let's have a look in the betting ring. And the biggest man I'm sure that is in the betting ring today, look, he's head and shoulders above everyone else, Tim Gossage.
Yeah, I might be head and shoulders, but I've got nothing to show for it, Dan. I'll tell you something, though, that they have come for Star Covered early in the market. 6-1 on the tote at the moment, a couple of points shorter in the betting ring. And they've also come for Peep on the Sly, the top weight. And here's one at odds. Number 7, Kaylee Moonlight, $35 on the tote. Its price has tumbled 15 points in the ring in recent times. It's been spec'd at long prices. That's Kaylee Moonlight.
Okay, Tim Gossage in the betting ring there. The map, 1,800 metres. They'll run around to the finish in the Hong Kong Jockey Club plate. And it's only a small field of 11. And there are the selections. Star Covered from myself and Jennifer. Miss Tesla from Richard Friedman. Flak Jacket from Johnny Letts. We're going to take a break. They're about to go to the stalls. We'll be back for the last, and also to talk to the man who for a minute earlier today thought he'd won the Melbourne Cup, Greg Hall. Coming up after this. Things are getting a bit rowdy here at Flemington before the last, but there's a great scene going on down here in the mounting yard just at the moment. Greg Hall, who ran 2nd behind DeRemus, is standing with Michael Friedman just beside me, and also Janelle Friedman, and they're just discussing the Melbourne Cup, how close it was. And Greg's going to come over in a minute and just have a bit of a chat. He just said to Michael Friedman, "I'm sorry." Michael Friedman said, "You got nothing to be sorry for, pal. You did your job." And it was only a matter of inches in the race. And that's something we'll talk to Greg Hall about in just a moment. They're on their way to the stalls. In fact, they've arrived at the gates for the last. We do not expect the Melbourne Cup trifecta to be notified before about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So problems with the trifectas at the TAB. As I said, the singing syrup is starting to take effect. But one man who's on the water at the moment, he could have been swapping it for champagne, is Greg Hall. And how do you feel, mate? Is it devastation? Are you philosophical? What's it feel like?
Yeah, look, as I see John Elliott's got a lot of fans there, Pete. Oh, mate, it's just, I mean, I have to admit, I am devastated. You know, I'm not usually that confident about photo finishes, and I actually thought I'd won it, and that's why I give a victory salute. And I mean, I just can't fathom it, you know. I mean, Jimmy Cassie says he didn't know on that, but the look on Jimmy's face was that he'd got beaten. John Letts had confirmed with me that he's got a direct line to the broadcaster's box that I'd won it, and then when I turned the horse back, he said, "No, your number never went up." I mean, it's just, I hear it. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, well, as you say, you don't often salute after the line. And they are getting set pretty quickly here. We really do appreciate you joining us. I know you want to say hello to Kimmy very quickly. They're set to go.
Hello, baby. Hello, Cassie.
Good on you, Greg Hall. Here's Dan for the last.
Racing. Video Fan jumped well. Barossa Babe a little slow out above the law, getting back. Star Covered, Our Sumo, and also Peep on the Sly settling towards the rear. Maximal goes to the lead, but Magic of Sydney's going to take it on. Our Sumo seem to get tightened up there about midfield. Maximal and Magic of Sydney in front, with Miss Tesla going up 3 out. Kaylee Moonlight's 4th, and over on the fence was Video Fan 5th. Then came Flak Jacket, who's on the outside of Our Sumo, a length and a half to above the law. Peep on the Sly 3rd last, outside Star Covered, and Barossa Babe as they settle down now. They've got about 1,200 left to travel. Miss Tesla was able to work to the lead now, and it's a length and a half clear from Maximal, who's second on the inside of Magic of Sydney. Then Kaylee Moonlight 4th, one off the fence. Video Fan 5th on the inside. Around it was Flak Jacket. Peep on the Sli's 3 deep, and then Our Sumo on the rails from above the law. Star Covered and Barossa Babe is last, and about 8 lengths off the leader, which is Miss Tesla. And they've got about 800 metres to go. Miss Tesla is a length and a quarter clear. Racing second on the inside was Maximal. Around it was Magic of Sydney. In 4th spot, Kaylee Moonlight just swinging out wide from Video Fan as they come around the turn. Our Sumo midfield inside Flak Jacket. Peep on the Sly starting to wind up, and then came Star Covered inside of above the law as they straighten up now, and they've got about 500 metres left to go. It's Maximal trying to get up on the inside of Miss Tesla, who shifts away from the rail. Magic of Sydney's under the whip, and then Video Fan, followed by Kaylee Moonlight above the law. Star Covered running on. Maximal gets up along the inside to join Miss Tesla. Video Fan runs on. Peep on the Sly wider out, and Star Covered making ground. Maximal's a length and a half clear. Star Covered trying to reel it in, and then Our Sumo, but Maximal's clear. Star Covered can't get to it, and then Our Sumo, and Maximal wins the last. Maximal first, second home Star Covered. Third placing goes to Our Sumo, and then Video Fan was Tesla. Peep on the Sly next in from Barossa Babe. Next in Flak Jacket, Kaylee Moonlight, Magic of Sydney, and above the law.
Well, a beautiful ride by Brian York to land the money on Maximal. Pat Highland, he'll be wrapped because he's had a lead run. He's been running second all the time down, and Maximal's been a bit unlucky. It was dead stiff at Caulfield. Didn't have any luck, and then ran second in the Werribee Cup, but had a beautiful run today. And when Miss Tesla shifted off, got that beautiful run through. Here we are, arrowed here. Maximal, Brian York's taken him through. He's gone to the lead. Miss Tesla's the one chasing, and one on the inside of Miss Tesla is Star Video, getting home very well, ridden by Shane Dye. But all the honours are with Maximal. He definitely deserved to win a good race. He's been a runner-up on a number of occasions. I know Pat thought a lot of him. He took him over for the Tasmanian Derby in different races. He's just had no luck. Second in the Werribee Cup. He's gone to the line well here and won well.
12, 14 and 5 are the official numbers. 12 Maximal. Brian York, 14 Star Covered, Shane Dye, and 5 Our Sumo, Greg Childs. 12, 14, 5 on the last event. John Letts is chaperoning the winner of the final event back to scale, and that is Brian York.
Brian York, Brian's your first winner over the carnival. It's nice to break through.
Yeah, it's a good day to break through to Melbourne Cup Day Tue, but
yes, and the form around the horse wasn't too bad. You know, second to Sunny Lane in the Werribee Cup, and you had a nice run today.
Yeah, had a lovely run. There was a bit of speed in the race, and we just got a nice sit in behind him.
When Miss Tesla moved out and went through on the fence, it's travelling nice.
Oh, it's going beautiful. Yeah, I was just sort of.
And you really, when you ride for former jockeys, you've got to ride the good race, don't you?
You do, because they can see all your mistakes, mate. You know that too.
I know that, but it was a good win, and this horse has been a little bit unlucky in his last few runs, Brian, but good luck today, mate. The last race of the day today, but you never know what's in store for the next 2 days for you.
With his Oaks Day and the big mile down the last day yet, mate.
With the racing we've got, you've got about another 18 chances. Good luck, Brian.
Thanks, mate.
John Letts there with Brian York, who takes Maximal back to the race. He's going to lead the remainder of the field back to scale. 12, 14 and 5 on the final event, and about $13.20 and $3.70 for Maximal. Pat Highlands placed him well because his recent performances were good. No luck at Caulfield 2 runs ago, and he got pipped just near the post by Sunny Lane in the Werribee Cup last week.
Yes, at Caulfield especially, Danny had no luck at all in the straight. you know, just came up the straight, hard held. But, you know, as I said, Pat's been telling me he was having a lean run. He kept running second. And I said, well, you're better off running second than running third. But he had a beautiful run today. Brian York, he rides those horses so well when he can sort of, you know, box seat them or have them up there.
Notice that coming around the turn in that race, they shifted away from the fence as if it mightn't be the place to be. Well, something they mightn't have to worry about on Thursday because the rail will be out 5 metres, Gary.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they'll have all new ground again, so we'll have to do that track inspection again. But we got it right today, Dan.
Yeah, actually, it's the most uniform that I think Flemington's been for quite some time. I think Ross Bradfield and his staff's done a great job. They won from the inside, the outside. There was little between them. Yes. They won from all sorts of the track today, from front and behind.
You certainly earned your money today calling some of those close races.
It's been a long day. 12-14-5. Tim, that's the final event on Melbourne Cup Day. We're nearly at the halfway point.
Thanks very much, Dan, and we'll try and get those dividends the correct way first, of course, and we'll do some Melbourne Cup dividends for you too before we go, and we go reasonably shortly. I've got Peter and Jenny back in the studio with me. Let's just go back earlier in the day before we talk about the Cup. Bazile Bay's a racehorse.
He is.
Is he ever?
Yeah.
7 starts now for 5 wins in a couple of seconds, and he's a magnificent looking horse too.
Isn't he?
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic. Got a beautiful head on him, and he knows what it's all about.
He sure does, and can run.
Well, he had to make him go out of the barrier. He over-raced up to about the 800. Most horses will be calling for the petrol tickets at about the 400-metre mark, and when he asked him to go, he went.
And they got nowhere near him.
Yeah, he's a good horse.
Yeah, good horse. All right, I mean, I could tell you were excited, and I could tell you were too. We've seen a genuine champion. A genuine champion in Might and Power. He came past me here all full of himself with his head throwing in the air. He's great.
Oh, he's fantastic, Tim, no doubt about that. For a horse to do what he did, he got tackled as well throughout the race and lead all the way and hold on. And Doremus is no slouch either, don't worry about that.
Great run.
It was a terrific win.
Yeah. Just one of the best Melbourne Cup finishes, wasn't it?
First one to lead all the way, as we said, since Lord Fury back in the 60s.
61, I think, Lord Fury.
Yeah, an incredible performance, and here they are turning for home, and Might and Power, as you said, Jen, had been taken on. Linesman, I thought, was a gallant run. That's him in the white cap on the outside. And looking for Doremus, he's the one with the white face just looming up into 3rd position on the outside, and at the 300 it had the hallmarks of a fantastic finish.
Sure did. In fact, what about the overseas horses? The Grey, Arabian Story and Harbour Dew's just inside him. He runs on quite well, Harbour Dew's. It wasn't a bad effort from him, but look at this champion in front, Might and Power.
Big moment for Cliff Brown too, the 28-year-old trainer. That's his horse Markham, looming up into 4th position and running on pretty well. Now at the 200 they came past us, and I thought Doremus was going to get to Might and Power.
Yes, in fact, we watched it together, Pete, and you said, yes, he's got there, and we all didn't know. In fact, it looked like he had, and then all the journalists around us were saying, yes, he did, well, and no, he didn't.
As I said to you, Pete, look at G. Hall, who's throwing the kitchen sink, the cupboards, the wardrobe, and the pans at Doremus. He's throwing everything at him. It's just brilliant riding. Look at these jockeys, just throwing everything at those horses.
And it was really, in the end, just the bob of the head.
Yeah.
Greg just told me that he did say to Lee, look, I'm sorry about that, and Lee said, your ride was 10 out of 10. You can't ride a better race in the Melbourne Cup than that. I don't want to take anything away from Might and Power. A lot of the attention will go on to Doremus simply because Jack is silent, Jack.
Yes, and continued to be today. Did you expect any less?
No, look,
I didn't think you did.
To be honest, as we get the Whitman's correct weight signal on the last event on the program, I went to Shelley Hancock's before the Melbourne Cup, Tim, and I said, does Jack want to talk? Because I don't want to embarrass him by coming up and him saying nothing. I thought that was the best thing to do. He asked for his privacy, and I respected that.
Okay, there's the divvies. I'll do them, I think, rather than Danny. Maximal $13.20 and $3.70. Star covered $2.20, and our Sumo $2. Problems with the trifecta, we won't be able to bring that to you, or on the Melbourne Cup today, and there's the Quinella and the running double as well on the Hong Kong Jockey Club plate. Race 10 on a huge Melbourne Cup Day. 10 of them.
Here for a couple
Was